TV Channel 3. Commission members may teleconference into the meeting without noticing or posting an agenda at their teleconference location. Besides the live TV and Zoom broadcast, the live stream of the meeting may be viewed online at cityofcalabasas.com/ctvlive. If you want to provide public comment, press Raise Hand if you're using Zoom or *9 if you're joining by phone. Just unmute yourself by pressing *6. Say your name and the city you live in. You'll be allowed 3 minutes to address the Commission regarding any item within the subject matter jurisdiction of the Commission. If the power or internet goes out lasting more than 15 minutes, or if there's some event that prevents the Commission from meeting or prevents you from providing public comment, then the meeting will be adjourned. Any items noticed as public hearings will be rescheduled to the next regular Commission meeting. Any other agenda items the Commission has not taken action on will be placed on a future agenda. Now, a meeting of the City of Calabasas Commission.
The July 18th, 2022 Library Commission meeting is called to order. Let's have the roll call. Sarah?
President Pangarliotis.
Present.
Vice President Gonzalez.
Present.
Commissioner Aronson.
Present.
Commissioner Baumgartner.
Present.
Commissioner Palmer.
Present.
Commissioner Scheer.
Present.
Student Commissioner Bronstein.
Present.
Since we're all present and accounted for, I'd like the Student Commissioner, Sophia Bronstein, to lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag
of the United States of America
and to the republic
for which it stands,
one
nation,
nation,
under God,
indivisible,
with liberty
and justice
for all.
I need an approval of the agenda. Thank you, Sophia. Motion to approve the agenda.
So moved.
Is there a second?
Second.
The motion has been approved and seconded by Isabel Gonzalez and Mark Scheer. Sarah, call the roll.
President Pangarliotis.
Present.
Vice
Oh,
President,
yes. Sorry.
Vice President Gonzalez.
Yes.
Commissioner Baumgartner.
Yes.
Commissioner Palmer.
Yes.
Commissioner Scheer.
Yes.
Thank you.
Okay, approval of the minutes of the May meeting. Motion, please.
So moved.
Motion has been made. Do we have a second?
Second.
Okay. Motion has been moved and seconded. Sarah, the roll call.
President Pangarliotis.
Yes.
Vice President Gonzalez.
Yes.
Commissioner Baumgartner.
Yes.
Commissioner Palmer.
Yes.
Commissioner Scheer.
Yay.
Any announcements and introductions?
No,
Let's-
Madam President.
I'm sorry.
No. Oh, announcements. I'm so sorry. I thought you meant oral communication.
That's okay.
Sorry.
Sophia, do you have any announcements or introductions?
No, thank you.
Okay, how about Commissioner Aronson?
No, thank you very much, Ellen.
Commissioner Parmar?
No, thank you so much.
Commissioner Baumgartner?
No, thanks.
Commissioner Gonzalez?
No, thank you.
Commissioner Scheer?
No.
Okay, we'll move right along to oral communications and public comment.
Now I can say it. There isn't any, Madam President.
Okay, then we'll move along. We have a presentation. I don't know who's making the presentation.
Is it the budget update?
No, it's right below oral communications, public comment, and before new business.
Oh, I think that's a mistake. I don't think
Okay,
We have a presentation, do we, Sarah? No.
Item
Okay,
eight
let's
on the
go.
agenda.
Let's
Oh.
go to new,
Sorry.
let's go to new business library budget update.
Okay, thank you. As you recall, at our last meeting, our May 2nd meeting, we had Chief Financial Officer Ron Allers come on and talk about the budget. And I know a lot of the commissioners had questions which are outlined in the budget report. Some of the concerns were the $250,000 transfer to the capital project fund, library capital fund. And some of the Hidden Hills money. I know Commissioner Aronson wanted that money to be earmarked specifically for library budget items. And another item that you were concerned about was the reserve study. And you had asked CFO Allers to come back with a report breaking down what all the costs and purchases required for the capital fund. But I actually went to his office to talk to him about that. And he said that the city was planning to do a full city review of all the capital improvement projects that need to be done over the years and how much they would cost. So they are going to be hiring a consultant to look at everything and then report back to us. So I don't have that at this time. As far as this budget, the library budget, the citywide budget was introduced to the city council on May 10th at their city council meeting. And in every subsequent meeting, they discussed the budget as a whole. And the library budget was part of that, but there wasn't much discussion about the library budget. There were some questions just about some capital. They had one meeting devoted to capital. They had a couple meetings just devoted to the entire budget. And at the May 25th meeting, President Pangarliotis sent an email to the city council outlining some of the concerns, the commission's concerns. And Council Member Weintraub did ask a question about it. She was concerned, President Pangarliotis had noted that Hidden Hills MOU was up for renewal and that the commissioners were concerned about the large amount going to the capital fund. But Councilwoman Weintraub, Weintraub, asked specifically if the Hidden Hills MOU was still in effect, and the city manager assured her that it was for the year. So that was the end of the discussion, and there was not much more said about it. There was plenty of opportunity for public comment, but there wasn't a lot of public comment, and there was no public comment except for President Pangarliotis on the library budget. So the council approved the final budget with no changes to the library fund at their June 22nd meeting. So the budget, as Ron introduced it, is the budget that went and was approved. So I don't know if you have any questions or discussion about that.
Britt,
Thank you. The one item that I wanted to point out in light of the next item on the agenda, the fines, under revenue, it's actually still listed as library fines and recovery through to 2024 as about $19,000. So I know you said that this is in there for next year, but you may want to let them know.
Well, yes, thank you for pointing that out. I actually did not have a meeting with the CFO before this budget was put into the packet, and there were a lot of odd things. I don't know if we talked about it last time, but I had asked for a retrofit of the lights for energy saving, and they put that into our operating budget. So I went and said, no, that can't be in an operating budget. It makes us be in deficit. And the CFO said, oh, you're right. That's going to be in capital. So, they always say to me that this is just, a plan. It's not set in stone. because there are a lot of funky things in here, actually. The Klein teen scene that somebody asked about last time, we haven't had that since we were with LSSI. So there are some things. I also know that IT requested that we replace a lot of hardware. Well, we didn't have money in our hardware budget. We had money in our software budget. And so it's, again, it's just kind of a plan. And the fines and recovery, we do still have fees for lost books, for study rooms, for proctoring, so for ILL. So we do have some fees. So we will get some money on that, but you're right about the fines. So thank you for pointing that out. Yes.
Marlene?
And so has the no fee policy gone into effect yet, or is it still, are we still looking at the future?
No, that was going to be my next report.
Oh,
actually.
okay. Thanks.
Does anybody have any more questions on the budget though?
Moving right along.
Sorry, I had a question.
Oh, go ahead, Isabel.
Do we have an estimate on when that consultant is going to deliver the information about? No,
It's just
okay.
sometime next year.
Okay.
But I know they do want to do it because, I believe President Pangarliotis brought it up last meeting about that they're not taking money for the senior center, that they don't have a capital fund. So I guess they really do want to look at that, how much, even though it's relatively new, they do want to say, in 10 years, they're going to need, lighting retrofit or a new roof, and start planning and taking money, putting general fund money aside for that. I believe at the city council meeting, at some of the budget hearings, they did talk about putting more money in capital projects. But they do want to specifically look at some things and have this consultant do it. The department heads, we had a meeting and we asked for things specifically. That's why I said about the lighting retrofit. But I just made up a number, to tell you the truth. I have no idea how much it's going to cost. So I think they actually want somebody who knows what they're talking about to go in and analyze this and not just pull numbers out of the air.
Yeah, the only other thing that comes to my mind, Barbara, has to do with the fact that John Bingham retired. And I'd like to know who has been picked to be the liaison to the library from the staff, since we're paying quite a good portion of his salary.
Okay, so John was never the liaison. He was just in charge of the physical plant, the Civic Center. And they actually changed that. So now all the facility maintenance people report to Luis Hernandez at Public Works. So I do believe that they're all going again, this is all kind of up in the air, but I think what's going to happen is they're going to still take money from us like they do with community services and some of the others, and budget that under Public Works now instead of the library. But they will still pay for some staff. And John's place, Michael McConville, is now the interim, what was John again? What was he?
Human resources.
Yeah. Oh, no. So Carolina is just going to be human resources, and Michael McConville is going to be the administrative services manager. That's what he's called, but interim. And so they're doing a bunch of reorganizing at the city level. And I haven't been there all week, but I believe that Armando is moving his office over to City Hall instead of the library. So I don't know when that's going to be complete.
Barbara, is there anything else that you had asked for other than the retrofit of the lighting? Is there anything else that you are concerned about?
For capital? Not specifically. I was just doing for our lights they're really expensive ballast lights. And so they're always going out, and with all the new lights these days.
Oh, of course. Yeah.
Yeah. I don't see anything. I mean, the roof seems to be holding up. We have a big capital budget. Anytime we need something, I can pull from that capital budget. For instance, they want to, instead of water fountains, have the water bottle, you know, how you put water bottles in. So we'll take that out of capital. But I don't see anything immediate. You know, I know Ron Allers was talking about, you know, maybe in 10 years, we'll have to replace the roof. But
a tile roof can last 50 to 75 years though. So I don't know where he's getting his
Right.
10 years from. And the other thing is, I think we all have to be cognizant of the fact and watch when the study is being done, that we don't get dinged twice for the people that we're paying part of their salary and pension and all the other goodies, medical, dental, eye services. So since we've already got that in our budget, we've got to be careful that they don't add it a second time when they go through on the study.
yeah, you're right. I think it's all going back to this cost allocation plan.
Right, exactly. So Barbara, do you want to go ahead with the library fines update?
Sure. So part of the city council budget consideration was the consent item. And, you know, at the February 7th meeting, you all had already approved the fine-free idea for the library. And I discussed it with the city manager and the finance director. And I also presented the report that I presented to the commission, to the city council, just informally. I sent them an email, BCC'd them the email of the report. And so they did on the June 22nd meeting, they updated the citywide fee schedule, and this consent item was part of it, and they approved it without any questions or discussion.
Yay.
Yeah. So the fine-free program went into effect on July 1st, because that's when the budget goes into effect. And we did kind of just a quiet rollout, because we want to make sure that there were no huge bugs or no huge problems. So far, so good. I also changed our ILS so that we have automatic item renewal, so that we don't, you know, people aren't getting fines initially. If there are holds on the books, they cannot renew. So according to what our plan is, if they don't return it at a specific time, then it's considered a lost book, and then they have to pay for it. But so far it's working. And we thought that in September that we do a big rollout, you know, a big publicity, because it's a library sign up month. And we'll have something like, you know, come back to the library, you know, your fines will be waived. It's funny. People used to complain about the fines. And now when we say it's fine free, they're like, what? And they're like, no, here, take $1. So it's kind of interesting. Circulation did a lot of work on this, because they had to change all their circulation policies. They had to do all the, you know, Carolyn worked with them to do, and IT to do all the changes on the website. But I told circulation staff, if somebody wants to give you $1, put it into the Friends, you know, Friends donation. So, so far people have been pleased with it, and I don't have any wood, but I'd knock on it to make sure, you know, to say that everything's going to be okay in the future.
Any questions on the library fines?
Yeah.
Marlene?
When we do the rollout, I would envision some kind of a bookmark or something that specifies the rules, because they're just a little complicated.
Yeah.
That we can hand out to everybody.
Yeah, that's a good idea. We have things on the website, and we change the circulation policies that we hand out to everyone when they get a library card. But you're right. For the people this is supposed to bring people back to the library who have fines and are scared to come in, or, you know, don't want to be embarrassed by it. So we will do some publicity saying, yeah, come back to the library, your fines will be waived. And here's another thing. We can't, I think I said this to you in other meetings, I can't go back and remove all the fines, past fines, without removing the cost of the lost books. So we're just waiting as people come in.
Mhm.
Any other questions from commissioners? Okay, librarians report from Barbara.
Well, I'm going to introduce Carrie. You're up in a minute. She's going to give the report on summer reading, but I just want to tell you that a couple things. The Zip Books program has been really successful. People really like it. And so I'm writing a grant that's due Thursday to renew it. So let's hope we get that. And it was extended until August. It was supposed to be over on June 30th, but we had a little slow rollout because if you recall, a bunch of staff had COVID back in January. We were supposed to roll it out. So it's good till August. We've had about 150 items brought, that were done through Zip Books. So this renewal will be good till December. And my usual Tuesday evening book club is canceled this month. Instead, we're having Lee Goldberg come to the library on August 2nd and talk about his book, Movie Land. So that'll be an in-person. I think we have to register. If you want to attend, you do need to register online because we don't want a million people because of the whole COVID thing. We still want to space people out.
Barbara, do you have any information that can be posted that has that on there?
Yeah, it's on our website.
It is? Okay.
Yeah.
Because that way we can repost it. I know there's quite a few fans of his in the area.
Yeah. People are excited about it.
Yeah.
And I've ordered a bunch of books, but only 2 have come in so far. And there's a huge wait list for it. But Lee does want to sell some books. So people can wait and buy his book and get it signed by the author. And he will be interviewed by Brian Rooney, who's working as an archivist. And Brian wrote 3 Magical Miles about Malibu Lake. And he just gave a presentation last week on the history of Malibu Creek State Park, which was really interesting and fun. So, but I don't want to take Carrie's thunder away because she's going to talk about summer reading. So Carrie, if you all don't know her, I know some of you do because she's been actually around for a long time, but we just hired her in April to be our full-time youth services librarian. So Carrie, take it away.
Barbara. So as Barbara said, my name is Carrie Mirop and I'm your new youth service librarian. So it's kind of been exciting because we're doing some in-person events for the first time in 2 years. So that's been kind of neat. So our summer reading program started on June 28th. We had a kickoff. We have a lot of great teen volunteers that came in. They've been very, very helpful. So it's been wonderful to have them around. We started by giving out craft bags and having people sign up. Carolyn Stewart got the laptop from the city. We were able to sign up people right there, give them all the information, and that was very exciting for them. So we've had our teens signing them up right there. If we don't have teens for some reason, they can come to the Children's Reference Desk and we hand them their bag, all their little goodies, and we give them the information for them to sign up online. So if any of you guys have not signed up yet, you can sign up online, just so you know. Right now, at this point, we have a total of 254 participants. On the 28th, when we had our kickoff, we also had what was called Storytellers. And that was where people presented stories about their life and about what happened with them. It was a great event. We've had 61 views so far on YouTube for that. And on the 29th, we had story time. We had a librarian who did leave us. Her name was Sky. And she did one more story time for us. And we've had 10 views on YouTube for just that alone. So that was also amazing. Going into July, we're doing both our adult events and our kids events. So we've had a few in person. We're getting now switching over the next 2 weeks into those online. So the ones we had in person was a cooking class on the 5th of July with Sean and John Can't Cook. They made amazing s'mores and some chicken salad. And we had 8 participants in that. So that was wonderful. We've usually end up between 5 and 20. So we've had our normal number of before we had the pandemic. On the 12th, Brian talked, as Barbara had said, and we had 20 participants in that one. So that was a great lecture. And so for the total of those, we've had 28 for both events. Our children's event, we started with the Bubble Mania. Everybody loves bubbles. I don't know if you guys love bubbles, but I love bubbles. We had our Bubble Mania. It was very well attended. We had 76. And what we did is we opened up the Founders Hall and the multipurpose room. So we were able to get a lot of people in there, but also do a social distancing. And we had the doors on either side open. So there was a slight breeze coming through. And everybody's very appreciative of that. They didn't have to wear their mask. We recommended it, but they did not have to. Then we had on the 7th, on Thursday morning, we had Wacky Windy, and we have had her before, and it's a preschool event. We had actually 34 participants, and they were in there just jumping around, having a great time. People were very excited to be back in the library, very excited to have activities for their little ones. And the activity got over at about 11, and then the children's room was very, very busy for a little while, which was awesome. And then on the 9th of July, we actually had our Writers Club, which is our kids 3rd grade through 7th grade, come in, and they were able to write a letter, poems, whatever they would want to write. And then what we had them do is use wax. And we can actually use wax through a glue gun. You don't have to use a flame anymore. And we bought them all stamps, and they were able to do the wax and the stamping. And of course, you can buy pens now where you can decorate the stamps and you make it multicolored. So they had a lot of fun. We had one little girl who wrote her uncle back east. And so we helped her mail it and the whole 9 yards. So they really enjoyed that. Then the following week on the 13th, we had the magician. His name is Sean, and we had 58 participants. So far for the summer, for just the kids, we've had 173 participants in all of the programs. So that's, I think, a really good number as we're jumping back in. Now, we still have a few more events this summer, which is awesome. So for the kids, I'm going to start with the kids. We have 2 events online. The first one is a variety show with Christopher Yates, and that we just post and people can see. The second one is music with Craig Newton, and that's actually live. So what will happen is we'll have a Zoom event, it will be live, and people will be able to see him right there. And then that will end the kids' events, those 2. For the adults, as Barbara said, her book club is not meeting this week. Am I correct? Yes. Yeah. Okay, perfect. On the 20th, we do have a morning book club. As far as I know right now, it's still hybrid, but that could change. So I always just warn everybody with that. On Wednesday, July 20th, we also have a hybrid film fanatics. And so once again, that I always tell everybody that can change too, where it's just online. I just want to be out there with that. And our last adult event on Tuesday, July 26th, our senior librarian, Carolyn, and myself will be doing an online genealogy course. We're going to talk about all the options we have at the library. We have, the Ancestry site, we have Fold3. So there's a lot of things that we want to get back and let the public know that we have, that they can do ancestry research. And we are going to be talking about the 1950 census. And I know a lot of people have been asking about the codes on the 1950, and yes, I know what the codes all mean. So if you're interested in that, please come on July 26th, look online, and it starts at 6 o'clock. And one last thing, or 2 last things we actually have this Thursday on the 21st. Our senior librarian is doing a digital service class. And so that will start at 4 o'clock and go pretty much until we close. And then also starting at 4 o'clock, we are bringing back one afternoon of kids crafts. And we bought rocks and we bought pens. So there's no like paint brushes and paint involved, because that gets really messy. And they can just draw to their heart's content on these little rocks. And I'll have it all spread out. And Then our summer event ends on July 31st as, I'm hoping I'm going to get this right, LAUSD starts school on August 15th and LVUSD starts on the 24th. So we lose all of our volunteers by the end of July, and people are going on vacation and getting ready for school at the beginning of August. So that is our summer.
Questions from commissioners? Thank you. Oh, Mark.
Hi, good report, and welcome.
Thank you.
My grandchildren are, well, the older one is now around 2, and my daughter-in-law says that she's been looking and everything is during the week. Is there any chance or opportunity for weekend events for the preschoolers? Whether it's story time or other events, or is that just not a thing for us?
Usually we haven't had that. I don't even think in the past, I remember even our preschool events were during the week. But that doesn't mean that we can't take something under consideration and look to see, because you're not the first person who has asked me. You know,
what about, are there programs that people can look at on YouTube for the children's programs?
Yes, and they're on our website. If you go to Calabasas Library, on the right-hand side, there is a green tab that you can click on, and you can get to some of our videos. And we have story times for all ages. And so we have those for right now. And there is a new thing. Unfortunately, it's not visual. It's only for hearing it. There are story times that are now being posted every Monday. And there is a flyer that you guys can see online, and you can click on it and you can listen to a story. It's usually about 3 to 5 minutes long from different authors. And that is all for kids. And so that is something we're trying to see if anybody's interested, see how many hits we get on that. But like I said, it's not visual, it's listening to a recording.
I would just say that, especially for the kids, we want to get them into the library. I think more than just a YouTube or an audio, is they need to learn to appreciate a library, you know, what it can get them.
Yeah, I think, I think we've considered weekend story times in the past for working adults, working parents, but you know, we didn't get a good response, and because the parents are taking kids to soccer and that type of thing. So, you know, we ended up only having a few kids, but
I think timing when it comes to that, because I do a lot of events for LVUSD. So when we do something on the weekend, definitely you have to look at that kind of morning soccer period. But since we're located near the Commons and there's so many restaurants and people are having lunch after, maybe if we kind of timed it correctly, and then also I'm a huge promoter of social media, especially in this community. Facebook seems to do really, really well, even though it's kind of antiquated in other realms. But for some reason in this town, people love it. And any event that I've done and put flyers on and it's been reposted, you do have a lot of people that normally, you know, just don't pay attention. It's just the way life is, right? It's so busy. But if you have something that kind of catches somebody's eye, I've actually reposted some of our library stuff on our LVUSD page and on a couple of other pages and gotten responses. So if you guys have anything, like even that's the story time that you're talking about, maybe if we had a visual to go with it, like the cover of the book or something, it just attracts people to it. People are all about looking at pictures, not so much about reading, unfortunately, when it comes to ads. But I think every once in a while to sprinkle something out there, you know, there's lots of parents wandering around. I'm sure they would love that their kids have an activity to do, and maybe that would open the doors to the library a little bit for them too. I don't even know how many young families, when they move into the area, I don't know if real estate agents are even saying like, oh, guess what? This is our library and they have all these events. And it's just, we really do have a different generation that has moved in the last year or two. Yeah. We're noticing it in the school system as well. So if we just get the information out there, I'm sure we can all repost and post and make sure it gets out. If you guys, I think I mentioned it last time too, but I just feel like that social media is one of those things that's easy for, sometimes they'll click in a photo of it, stick it on their fridge or put it in their calendar or whatever.
Yeah, that's great. Thank you.
Arlene.
I just wanted to support what Monica was saying. I'm kind of in and out of my kids' family life, and they both work full time. They have now an 11-month-old and a 5-year-old, and they're always looking for things on weekends. And I think that idea of after lunch, because they do often go to the Commons for lunch, they shop, they go to lunch. But we also have to think about nap time for the very little ones. So if we're talking about 2-3-year-olds, they're still napping. And so if we put it too much into the afternoon, then we're not going to get people of that age either. So they're all interesting things to think about. And I think if we can just go at it in 2 or 3 different ways, we'll be more successful.
Okay, that's great.
Any other commissioner comments? Okay,
I
let's
think
go.
Sophia raised her hand.
Yes,
So I was thinking that at the high school level, I think it'd be good if we advertise like having students volunteer at various times during the weekend. And that way we could have like the earlier morning, the earlier afternoon, the later afternoon. We can get high schoolers like appreciating the library and then getting those little kids having the ability to go at different times. And I think it's like more accessible for parents. And we can even do it like outdoors, like in the amphitheater in the back. That way COVID concerns are addressed. So things like that might be good.
Yeah, we've
Sounds
been
good
having
to
the
me.
story times on the patio, not the amphitheater because it's awfully hot now, but in the back patio, there's shade. And those are great. We had like 35 people come with their babies.
Yeah, no, Sophia's idea is amazing because I know that kids are always looking for volunteer opportunities. We're going to restart. During the pandemic, they had taken away volunteer hours. It wasn't necessary as much as it was before. You still had to do some, but you didn't have to do very many. But they're bringing it back slowly now. So there's plenty of kids, and I'm sure Sophia would be more than willing to like throw out a flyer into the Calabasas News or the Agora News so that we could have some kids come and help you guys and engage.
You know, summer reading is completely staffed by our teen volunteers.
That's
and
amazing.
I'm happy to hear about the community service requirement again, because we had kind of a hard time this year recruiting the teens because they didn't need to do it.
Yeah,
So
no, it's coming back.
good to hear.
I just want to add
Isabel?
to, hi, I just wanted to add to it because what Monica was saying about having lunch in the Commons and then being in the area. Well, my husband and I are both working parents and we have a baby, and often we end up just walking around Barnes and Noble because we're, seeking air conditioning. And I think that would just be perfect if there was something in the afternoon, because most of the playgroup kind of activities are usually in the morning because of the heat. And so we have to plan for, things around 10 a.m. But so that's also something to consider, because I know you had mentioned the heat and how hot it gets back there. And sometimes we're having lunch and just, okay, let's go inside Starbucks or, Barnes and Noble. We still want to kind of enjoy being outside, but
So
have to look.
Let me ask you a question. As the mother of a baby, when is the best time, do you think? When is like before, after nap time, after lunch, after late afternoon, when we first open?
Yeah, either of those times, either like morning or afternoon, because in the middle there's usually a nap time, like Marlene mentioned. So yeah, I guess if there were kind of 2 windows, kind of what Sophia was suggesting, like kind of two shifts, right?
Yes.
But, yeah, I'm not really sure, I guess.
You know what? We can offer different times and see who shows up for the different times.
Good idea.
I think it would be
Right.
really well received. I just know we have, just in my neighborhood, we have so many new moms and moms with little ones. And mine are both in high school. One's graduated high school this year. But I remember when I first moved here 11 years ago, I used to take them to the library all the time because Barnes and Noble at that time just didn't really have that children's area set up really well. So I would go to the library and take them, and they had the story time and they had crafts, and the kids just like to sit and snuggle in some of the seats and be able to read. And my son would nap, I would give him milk and he would nap, and my daughter would enjoy. So I think we just need to reintroduce, just like everything else. People kind of aren't used to going out and enjoying the community. But I think slowly everybody will get back on track. So summer is a great time to do it. Winter might not be so great. So why not do something? And if you do it outside, I'm telling you, somebody's going to be walking by, just like Isabella was saying, and they're going to be like, oh my gosh, this is great. My daughter would love this, or my son would love this. So
Well,
definitely let us know so that we can get the word out.
Okay. And that's the benefit of us being a small independent library. We don't have to deal with bureaucracy. We could just start these things. And if they fail, we just stop, try something new. So that's great. Thank you.
Any other commissioner comments before we go to future agenda items? Okay, if you have a future agenda item, please raise your hand. Okay, I have I think we need to do the state report for the fall, which we do every year. Barbara does a magnificent job with the staff on that. It's a part of our commitment to the state library. And also an update on the cost study, if we have any by October, which I doubt.
I don't think we will.
Okay.
So as you recall, we're supposed to meet every month, but my feeling is we don't have enough for August. So we should, I don't know when you want to adjourn to, because we can just cancel, the monthly meeting, but it would be up to you, to the commission.
Well, would October be our 4th meeting?
Sarah?
It would be the 4th meeting.
Yeah.
The only, we're supposed to have them every month though now, so.
But we could cancel August and September and just meet,
Right.
if you want to
adjourn to October, yes. We can
I
do.
think we also have to be aware of the Jewish holidays.
Yeah, and that's September,
To
right?
set up the meeting. Okay.
Yeah.
Motion to adjourn, please.
So moved.
And excuse
Second.
me for a minute. Do you want a motion to adjourn to October?
Sure. Motion
how that
to
goes,
adjourn
Sarah?
till October,
The date would be the 24th,
the 24th of October.
right?
Is there a second to Marlene's first?
Second,
Motion has been made and seconded. Sarah, call the roll.
President Pangaliotis,
Yes.
Vice President Gonzalez,
Yes.
Commissioner Baumgartner,
Yes.
Commissioner Palmer,
Yes.
Commissioner Scheer.
sure, why not?
Thank you.
Okay, the motion is passed. The meeting of the Library Commission for July 18th, 2022 is adjourned. Have a great rest of your summer, everybody.
Thank you
Thank
so
you.
much. Have a
Thank
good summer.
Thank you. Goodbye.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye.
Right.